Depressed, anxious, brain fog? Maybe a good night's sleep is your solution. A lack of sleep can cause so many problems within our body. Let's get you back to your zeal with some Z's. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining me. Do you have any trouble sleeping? Or has somebody told you that maybe you snore? I got to tell you something really funny, because my children, when they were teenagers, they used to tell me that I rocked the house in snoring, and I never believed it. You know, they never recorded me, so they couldn't prove anything. And then one night they had a sleepover, and they decided they were going to play a joke on their mother and stick a sock in her mouth while she was sleeping. And I came out of that bed just going like this. And so at that point, I knew, because all the children were laughing at how loud I was snoring. I didn't figure it was a problem. I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm not getting enough sleep, and I snore when I'm exhausted. So I just kind of blew it off and never thought anything about it. Never looked into the possibility that it could be sleep apnea that was due to my weight gain and due to, causing so many other problems. Why do we need sleep? A good sound sleep, not just the fact that we're going to bed, because when you're snoring, you're not really sleeping very well. But you may not be a snorer and you're not getting the right kind of sleep or the right amount of hours. Maybe you've got a lot going on in your life, and that stress, your mind just doesn't want to shut off sometimes, and you're thinking of what you need to do tomorrow. You're thinking of what you should have done differently today, and what bills you have to pay. All that stuff just piles up and makes it very difficult for you to sleep. So the benefits of sleep, though, are so great because it builds our immune system. It helps our nervous system, our muscular and skeletal system. It helps our brain. Everyone's different as far as how much sleep they need. So for me to say, you have to get 8 hours a night, that's going to vary based on your age and based on what's going on with you. So I'm not going to give you a set amount of time that you need to sleep. But let's talk about quality time, and let's talk about what it's going to do to our body if we don't get that quality time. There's a thing called homeostasis, and homeostasis is simply a balance between, are we getting enough sleep to focus and function during our awake time? And the majority of us, the answer is no. Some people enjoy sleep, though, and they'll lay in bed all day long, and they're just like, I'm on vacation, and they'll sleep too much, and that can backfire on you as well. So you have to find that balance in between. How much do you actually need? Are you taking naps during the day? It used to be for me in the afternoon time, about between the hours of 3 and 5, that was like my kick butt time. I had to take a nap. And I just felt like if I take a nap, then I'll be recharged, get that second burst of energy, and then that'll sustain me until about 10, 11 o'clock at night. But naps are good. But if we're doing what we should be doing, getting the adequate amount of sleep at night, then maybe we can sustain throughout the day and not have that downtime in the afternoon to where we need to take that nap. We just need to get better sleep in the evening. So let's talk about some of the problems with not getting enough sleep. When you are deficient in sleep, it causes you to have a decreased attention span. You have brain fog, and you can't remember where you're placing things. I remember one time I had lack of sleep, and I was looking for my cell phone. I was like, okay, I left it in my car. I go to my car, and it's dark outside, so I'm using a light to look for my cell phone. What light do you think I was using? The one on my cell phone, to go find my cell phone. That's nothing more than, okay, no, I'm not naturally like this. No, that is brain fog. I can't remember what I was doing. You ever walked into a room and you're like, why did I come in this room? You turn around, walk out to try and retrace those steps and get that memory back. That could be due to a lack of sleep. The other thing is, when you're not sleeping well, it's going to mess with your brain too. It can cause things like anxiety, depression, mood irritability. You're just not that happy person all the time. You can't figure out why you're grouchy. It's like, I'm tired, but I'm not tired. And, so if you got any of those problems as far as the attention span, or you're grouchy, or the brain fog, depressed, anxious, any of those things, then let's start taking a self-evaluation of how you're sleeping. You may have to get your family involved to ask if you're snoring, but you may want to keep a journal as to what time am I going to bed, what things are going on in my life during this time. Did I stay up later than normal? Am I able to adjust and go to sleep earlier? Because let's face it, when you're not sleeping well, just overall, the emotional and physical fatigue is going to weigh on you, and it will catch up to you eventually. Lack of sleep or short sleep equals weight gain, equals increased blood pressure, and it increases your risk and enhances your type 2 diabetes. So are you seeing a pattern here for that need of balance in your life with the proper nutrition, the proper sleep, the proper attitude, the proper exercise? Everything works together for the greater good.
Meet Shelley. She can make a labradoodle look like, well, either one. And she's a marketer. Shelley uses constant contact email to spread the word about her services, whether it's staying in touch with her regular customers or reaching brand new ones. It works for Shelley, and her clients are delighted. Shelley's a marketer, and all it took was constant contact. Try it free.
Visita provides a complete business calendar, fully integrated with your client scheduling experience. You can view and manage your daily schedule and any upcoming meetings, and most importantly, schedule new appointments and follow-ups with your clients. Using Visita Calendar for client scheduling will save you time and deliver a better service to your clients. Visita Calendar automatically syncs with your existing calendar on Google, Outlook, iPhone, and more.
Want to take just a minute to thank our wonderful sponsors for being here for us. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, please reach out to me at Sheri at renewwithsheri.com. Now, back on the subject of Z's, is there any kind of supplement that you can take over the counter to help you with your sleep? Well, of course, there's a lot of things that are going to aid in your sleep. The question is it the right product for you? Again, sometimes you need to talk with your doctor about what are some things that you can do to be proactive to help you get better sleep. There are prescriptions out there that the doctors can give you. However, I like to try the natural approach first and exhaust those before I start going into prescriptions, because there's so many things that we can change and alter in everything that we do, from environmental changes to dietary changes to over-the-counter supplements. So let's talk about a couple of supplements. One of the famous ones that most of you know if you're having sleep issues is melatonin. And melatonin is natural. You find it at health food stores. Sometimes you find it at the grocery stores. The biggest thing with that is sometimes over a period of time you do build up a tolerance and you need to take more of it. And so that's where you're going to want to try and pull in and do some other environmental factors or dairy factors to help you along the way. There's also an herb called valerian that works very well in aiding in your sleep. Then there's chamomile tea. Just simply fix you a nice warm cup of tea in the evening before you go to bed, and that will help kind of soothe and relax you a little bit. And then we have amino acids that work really well in aiding in our sleep. That would be theanine or theanine, however you want to pronounce it, and L-tryptophan. And so if you see those are amino acids, very good for you and aid in your sleep. And then also, remember, I've talked about magnesium before. That wonderful magnesium works with your skeletal muscles. It helps you with your not having leg cramps and restless leg, but it's also going to help aid in relaxing you and helping you sleep. So my supplement of choice for me that works for me is not only do I have magnesium in my multivitamin, I take about 250 milligrams of magnesium in the evening time before I sleep. And that also helps with any muscle cramps if I've been working out, or, if I've lacked some nutrients in my body during the day. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse, because that will affect your sleep as well. It will disturb your sleep. So let's talk about some environmental changes. And this was probably my biggest obstacle in trying to get to sleep and sleep better. So your environmental changes are going to be things like, are you too hot? Are you too cold? Do you have enough blankets? Do you have enough pillows? Is your bed comfortable? All right. So I went through buying, I bought one of those ergonomic beds where the feet and the head lift. And that's all well and good, but the mattress has still got to be comfortable for you. And I wouldn't necessarily say go out and spend all that money either. There's all kinds of different things to take a look at. You want to look at pillows that are going to affect your neck, and make sure that you keep your neck open so that way you're not crouching down, your chin's not to your chest, because that's going to occlude your airway. And you have to determine, do you need to sleep on 2 pillows or 1 pillow? You got to figure out what body position is best for you. Do you need a body pillow? Sometimes just keeping your body in alignment is going to help you. The other thing is, do you have a TV in your room? Because if you do, that's kind of not a good thing. You need to wind down and cut the stimulation before you go to bed, about an hour at least. So if I'm on the computer and I'm answering emails and doing a lot of work, and then I close my computer and try and go to sleep, my mind is still turning. And so you've got to distance yourself from stimulation. So I like to say stimulate, cut down on the 3 T's. Figure out your temperature, get it adjusted, stop the TV, and stop talking. So cell phone, you're on the phone with somebody. When you stop talking, you need to give yourself a good 30 minutes to wind down. All of those electrical stimulations and the temperature, that's going to affect you. So cut back on those 3 T's before you go to bed. Now, let's also talk about food. Is there any kind of foods that can help or hinder your sleep? And the answer is yes to both. Caffeine. Caffeine's going to be in your system for a long time. You got to stop that caffeine early on in the day. If I don't stop cutting my caffeine between 5 and 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to be up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. That's my body. I'm not saying that's your body, but you have to figure out, how does your body react to caffeine? It could be that you have been on, say, Mountain Dews forever and a day, and that you drink them all the way up until bedtime. Well, just start cutting back a couple of hours. I'm not saying cut them out altogether. Eventually you would want to, because that's not good for you. But for now, just try and cut back 1. And if you're thirsty, either drink some tea, the chamomile tea, or drink some water. But cut back on that. A lot of people think alcohol. Oh yeah, let me drink a glass of wine to help wind me down. Yes, it does start making you wind down. But yes, it has sugars in it. Sugars is our main fuel source, that glucose that I've talked about before. So even though you wind down with a glass of wine, give it 30 minutes to an hour and that sugar kicks in. Now you get a rush. And you're not going to sleep. So at first, it seems like it's a great idea to have that alcohol on board. But once that alcohol starts converting in your body to sugar and glucose, then it's going to wake you back up. And you're going to get that jolt of energy. And then you're not going to be able to sleep. Or even if you are asleep, you're going to toss and turn a lot more. So don't do that. If you're going to drink a glass of wine or some alcohol, do it earlier in the evening before 8 o'clock. With your meal or whatever, but don't do it later in the wee hours, okay? The other thing is, as far as food, fruits and veggies are the things to eat in the evening time. Fruits and veggies are going to help you relax. It's going to help. Remember, some of the vegetables, the dark green leafy vegetables, have magnesium in it, as well as your berries, your blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. So that's going to help control your sugars. So you're not going to have that spike of energy from that glucose. but it's also got the magnesium in it, so it's going to help slow you down and relax you. So decreasing alcohol and decreasing sugars in your diet early on in the evening, that's going to be the key. Now, as far as choices of meat, salmon. You say salmon, I say salmon. However you say it. Fish is good for you to help you relax. So if you make your dinner, your supper, make that some fish and some green leafy vegetables and then some fruit, you're all set to have a good night's rest. Also, those little green, brownish, fuzzy looking things called kiwi. Kiwi actually helps you sleep. So if you've never eaten kiwi before bedtime, try that out. Cut you up a kiwi, eat that at 9, 10 o'clock at night. If you get the munchies and you're wanting something to eat, do that in a glass of water. And that's going to help relax you a little bit as well. So I want to thank you today for watching, and I hope you picked up some good cues and some tips to help you get some better Z's. I look forward to helping you along your journey as you renew you.